We're going to change the oil and filter on this Honda Civic. Some things you might want: we have an oil pan, we got a torque wrench, a socket wrench, and a funnel. Take a look at the engine oil section of your owner's manual. Here you're going to find some nice directions on how to check the oil here. You're also going to find the recommended engine oil, as well as how to add the oil. You're also going to find out how to reset the engine oil life. Go out and buy some of the recommended oil. Make sure you have enough. Remember that internal combustion engines need oil to reduce the friction of moving parts and reduce wear and tear. You're also going to want to get a compatible oil filter if you plan on doing the oil filter as well. You also might want an oil filter socket. You're going to want to pull up on some ramps or lift the front of your car up somehow. Make sure your car's in park, put that parking brake on, maybe some wedges behind the tires, making sure that the car is nice and stable on level ground. So we got the hood open and we got the oil cap off. There again is the type of oil, 0W20 on the cap. The dipstick is this orange thing right here. You can pull it out. Once you have it out, you can dry it off and then put it back in and pull it back out and get a reading. So now we're gonna go under the front of the car. Sometimes there's a splash guard right here, but we don't have it on. And I'm gonna take this nut, yeah, right there, that one. We're gonna loosen that up, and we have the oil pan right below it so that it will catch all the oil coming out. All right. So loosening that. All right, it's being caught there.
It's not that bad this time.
No, it's not too bad. Notice how it also says, just in case you didn't know, it says engine oil right there, so you know that that's the thing you gotta unscrew. We'll let that all drain. The oil filter is right here, so that's pretty easy to change as well. So there's a little crush ring on that bolt right there. Sometimes you want to replace that. Once it's down to a slow drip, you can just screw the bolt back in. Now we're using the torque wrench, and we'll tighten it to 30 foot-pounds. This is what it looks like when you have the torque wrench adjusted to the 30 foot-pounds.
See that little pop?
Yep, so the wrench will start clicking. So we're just using the socket wrench with the oil filter socket on there. And you can see how there's a little bit of oil leaking out, so make sure you got that pan underneath. Yeah, so you might want some gloves if you don't like getting your hands dirty.
It'll smell for like the next 3 days. What you do. It's like, oh, it's just gonna fall.
There it is. So, oil filter is out. Now you have the empty little spot for the new one. So we're going to want to put a little bit of oil on the new gasket to the new oil filter. Then we just put the new oil filter in, screw it in nice and hand tight. So now the underneath is all sealed up and ready to go. It's time to add the new oil from the top. So without starting the car, we're going to roll the car off onto level ground before we add the oil.
The parking brake was on.
And take the parking brake off, all that good stuff.
It came off. Put off the brake, and now we're ready to push.
So we'll just give it a good push here. All right, back onto level ground. So now we'll put the funnel in here. and add the new oil slowly.
So here's 2 quarts right here.
2 quarts to start with. There it is, there's a little drip on the end. Put a little bit more in.
Give it a minute to kind of settle down there.
Yeah. Alright, so after the dipstick gives you a good reading, put the cap back on. Close the hood up and you're good to go. Alright, start the car up. We're just going to reset the engine oil monitoring system.
So as you can see, it says the oil life on this car is 60%. You have to manually reset it on this car. So what we're going to do is come over to this screen here, do home, settings, it's going to be vehicle, maintenance info, then you're going to do select reset items. We've only done oil and filter, so that'll be B. Here. If you did everything on here, the rotation, the air filter, all that stuff, you'd hit all do items. But we just did B today. We'll hit that. Yes, reset it. Now if you come over here, oil life is at 100.
Alright, so you might want to check the oil again after driving it, but that's the basics of doing an oil filter and oil change.